All right, guys, we're going to get started here. If you have questions, let me know. Put them in the chat and we can cover those. Um, First, we're going to start with SPY here. So go over to SPY. Okay, so first things first, clear uptrend. We've got uh, green trend bars, which means we're in a strong bull market. We've got that across IWM, which recently made all-time highs. We've got QQQ that's got green trend bars. So everything is plugging along. So everything looks good here. So nothing too much to say. We had a pullback to the 9 EMA and then made a new high. We're continuing to trend, pushing on some volume. So um, just taking a look at this, there's nothing really to be concerned about. Okay. We may get a pullback to the 21 EMA, and mainly you kind of just want to look for those sell signals that will give us a pullback to the 21 EMA. And where you see here, and we can kind of use those as a gauge to say, hey, okay, market might be extended. We can wait. Obviously, we are extended just by looking at this. You can see we're past 2.5 ATR. Uh, on the daily and the weekly chart. So, weekly chart is just now hitting that. So we very well could see a pullback at any point. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That doesn't mean I think there's going to be a crash or anything crazy like that. Just we've been pulling back to the 21 EMA once we get extended, and I'm expecting us to do that here at some point. Okay, as of right now, everything looks okay. Um, but just keep that in mind. And we don't need to change our bias until the trend bars turn red. And so the last time we had trend bars that turned red was back in here before this big pullback. And then other than that, we had some choppiness here, which turned red. There was a pullback here, and that's where when you want to go cash when these trend bars go red. And you can see here where they went red for a second and then flipped back green, and then we had a nice trend. Red, flip back green, and then had a nice trend. So what we want to see here is as long as we stay green, yellow, great trending market to be long. Okay. So that's what we're looking at there. So keep an eye on that. And as long as those trend bars stay green, we can stay bullish and QQQ SPY all look good. And dips should be bought based on that idea. Okay. So then we can go through and look at some of our positions. So we really only got two opened up right now. We bought I1Q here, and I'm still in half my position. We're up about 65% here. So nice close above 70 on Friday. I'm just going to continue to trail this thing. Weekly chart, you can see we had a nice breakout, took an entry here, and everything looks great here, trading at new all-time highs. It's leading the pack with RGTI. And so quantum theme is just continuing to rip. So this one moved from 15 to 28. So this one looks great as well. Nothing to do here. QUBT was lagging a bit, but eventually actually ended up breaking out on Friday. So nothing to do with the quantum names besides let that theme play out and hold on. And then other one is Dave. So we trimmed some of this on Friday. We got in right here on Friday or Thursday, and then caught this push up and was able to catch almost 3R on the trade. And now I'm looking for continuation. I am looking for this to go to 350, and we have a weekly squeeze. So if you take a look at the weekly chart, this one looks prime for upside and ready for, I think, a move back into 280. So I think we're going to break this previous high. Last time we had a weekly squeeze here, it was 228%. And then last time we had one here, it was 231%. Now, can we potentially make it up to be a $400 stock? I don't know. I'm initially looking for 250, and then I'm going to see what the market will give us from there and just trail the position. But I do think this definitely has the capability of being a $300 stock. It's got good fundamentals. It's got good growth, and you can see each time we get these longer consolidation patterns, we're getting some pretty massive moves to the upside, over 200% both times. So that's why I'm sitting in that one. Uh, Great looking chart and nice breakout and follow through off the daily signal there. So that one looks good. I was in Bitcoin, traded it through BITX. It started to pull back, so I just decided to close it at like a 3.5% loss, 4% loss. Didn't see any follow through that I was looking for, so I did cut it before it hit my stop. I just didn't want to hold it through the weekend, and I did not like um, the instant sell off of the tried breakout. So waiting for this one to reset. We might need like something like this, a longer kind of consolidation. Where we're getting that, maybe we just need a daily type setup here to form like a daily squeeze or something like that. So keeping an eye on that. The trade is still valid. It's just I want something that gives me a good risk to reward entry where I can make multiples of my risk before us hitting the all-time high. Okay. So that's that. Ethereum also looks good here. Might need a little more sideways action and maybe a pullback to the weekly 9. And so right now we're kind of just trading sideways, building this flag. We're starting to get pretty tight. And so this one looks good for just keep an eye on it. This one looks pretty good. Okay. And then as for my watch list, I've got it here. So a couple stocks that I'm paying attention to, WGS. So this one looks really good here. You can see we had this move off of earnings. From that earnings gap up, we're up about 60%. And we pulled back to the 21 EMA. We pulled back to the weekly 9. And we've got this massive cup and handle type thing going on, and we've broke this long-term consolidation that we've been in since October 2024. Okay. So this looks really good for upside, and I'm basically just looking for can we uh break out to the upside and have continuation, and can we go see 150? I do think that this is one of the growth leaders as of recent. We broke this longer term consolidation, and this is the first base outside of this consolidation and trading right above it. So I think this is probably my favorite pick going into next week. Uh, FRHC. This is another one that probably my second pick that I like here. Weekly chart. So you can see we're just trading right at all-time highs. And you can see where we get a weekly buy signal, move up, weekly buy signal, move up. So I'm looking for something similar here on FRHC. This chart looks great. And I'm looking for, we can probably trade back up into 200. Let's go to the daily chart. Daily chart, wait for this. See if we can transition from red to yellow to green, something like this, red to yellow to green, and then boom, that was a nice move up. Red to yellow to green, nice move up. And so maybe I'll look for an entry here that I can take off the weekly, but then add to my position as the daily shifts over as well. So that one also looks great. Another one, Rocket Lab. So this one, we have this nice flag going on. We keep testing the 50, and that's showing up as support, and we've continued to hold that on the weekly chart as well, the weekly 9. And now you're seeing here we've got 50 that's been acting as resistance, but we had this breakout, and I think a lot of people got long off this breakout. Then we had an offering come out, I believe, and then we flushed back to the 21 EMA, and we've been trading at that and getting pretty tight. So it seems like to me we're kind of resetting. We failed the first, so it was a clear resistance here, like you can see. Let's see. So we had a resistance here where one, two, three, four times we rejected. Then we got the breakout. I think a lot of people were looking for this breakout to be pretty strong. And then we flushed back down and failed that breakout. And now we're looking to reset. So I'm looking for a breakout on this one. If we can break out, I think this will be the ideal setup for a move higher on this one. And then can we break through 50 and continue to trend higher? So that one looks great. Um, Soundhound is another one that I'm keeping an eye on that I haven't quite found an entry on, but the chart does look really good. So you can see here we're kind of trading sideways, but we're building higher lows. And you can see higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, weekly buy signal. Here's the last time we had weekly buy signals. It was a $5 stock, and now it traded up to 25. So massive move on this one. And now we're getting weekly buy signals again. And we're building higher lows out of this longer term consolidation. So at any point, I'm looking, how can I buy this thing? That's kind of just the situation here. How can I get into this trade at a low risk entry point, right? So there's that. I got my list here. That's why I'm looking. So that one other one that I'll give you. So this one, this looks pretty good for a breakout. We went from yellow to green. So now I'm looking for a break of this consolidation here. We've got $10 trading right here. This is a lot lower on the totem pole. I'm not necessarily looking, this isn't one of my favorite setups, but you can see consistently building higher lows here. And then we're kind of building this wedge pattern. And I think we could easily go test 1150. It's a new IPO. So that one's pretty interesting. Um, then we've got hymns. So this one, I'm also just trying to look for an entry for. I just don't have it. You can see here weekly buy signals. Last time we had weekly buy signals, we went from 17 to 35. So this one looks really good. I just don't quite have an entry, but it's building this massive pattern here, and it just looks great. So I'm trying to find an entry on this one. But yeah. And then lastly, GEV. So this one has been a momentum leader. You can see back in here. Let's see, weekly chart. Back in here. Since the lows, we have rallied 166%. We look at the daily chart. This thing looks really, really good. We're continuing to hold the 50. So as long as we hold that 50, we've got a daily buy signal. I think you could take a break of the 630-ish area, the 627-ish area. Between there, I think this looks prime for upside. It's a little bit of a slower mover, so I may not trade it, but this one looks good as well. Um, RCAT. So this one has had a break and retest of $10, and I think if you take it above Friday's high, this could be a really nice one for continuation. We've got a weekly chart that looks great. And looks like it really could be moving out of a massive stage one base. So that one should be pretty high on the priority list, I'd say. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one and set an alert to see, can we break out there? But all right, guys, I will take the charts that you're looking at. Um, post post them in the chat, whatever ones you want me to take a look at, and I can cover them for you. BBAI. Okay, so I got BBAI and Sim. So I appreciate you guys paying attention to the watch list I'm posting because those were both in ones that I posted. I covered SYM pretty in depth, and I was pretty sad that I missed that one, but we'll cover that in a minute. Um, So yeah, this one you can just see we had this pullback. We had two tight range candles and then we broke out. So this one looks great on high volume, 214% relative volume. So this one looks great. Just hold on to it and let it work. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. Family group chat. Okay. SYM. Yeah, this one looks awesome. It was just like it broke out of where I wanted to enter just immediately at the open. And I typically like to wait at least 15 minutes, and it didn't give me that. So I was trying to get an entry. And if you just go to the 5 minute chart, it came. So my alert was 52.79. It came down to 52.83. I was 4 cents off of getting the entry that I wanted. Um, and so I ended up missing this whole trade. And this would have been almost a 5 hour trade. Well, actually, I bet you it would have been. Yeah, it was about a 5 hour trade in the same day. So you bought it at 54, 54.4. Okay, so where was your stop? Where did you put your stop? Oh, okay, you took profit at 51. Oh, stop is at 51, I see. 51. Yeah, okay. So for you on this trade, so this was like to give put this in perspective, this was the trade I was looking for. My entry was going to be around 52.80. My stop was going to be 51.79. Your entry was 54.40, and I'll do it exact. And then your stop was going to be 50.51, or is 51. Okay. So here, you need this to move to 61 to hit 2 to 1 R. So this is where you need this to move to 61 in order for you to have a 2R trade. So um, I would be looking for this to at least move to 61, if not just looking for it to make a move in all-time highs. This was a very, very high quality breakout. 229% volume. That's insane. So I would absolutely, yeah, that's painful. I would absolutely be holding on to this. And maybe when it gets up, you could move stop. Your entry was 54.40. So I would be sitting, I would just wait. And then once it gets to like 60, I'd put my stop at entry. Or when the 9 EMA catches up past your entry, then move your stop to entry. And then I'd be waiting for this to move into at least like I'd be looking for to move into all-time highs. And that's because like so for me personally, I would have been out half on Friday, but your stop is pretty wide. So we have to wait for this to make a move into all-time highs to make this a trade that's worth it, if that makes sense. So that's how I'd be managing that. Coin. Coin looks good. It's a simple red to green or red to yellow to green setup. I don't have necessarily a setup. Actually, I do. If you look for a breakout here of 350, and I think that could be a really great trade into this gap fill level. So yeah, coin looks good here. Weekly chart looks really good too. So you can see here we trade in this tight range. We broke out of that range. So yeah, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on coin as well. It's a good call. So nice. Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't made too much of a move, so I would definitely be in it still. This was the breakout candle. I'd be letting this thing play out. So it's just getting started. CRWV. Okay, so this one is kind of forming this downtrend. It looks like it's trying to break out of it, but you've got that similar thing, red to yellow to green, but it failed there pretty hard. Looks like it's breaking from this massive falling pattern. I don't know. I don't have anything on this one. There, there's just not really anything here. I'd like to see it trade sideways for like another week, and then I'd be interested. SRE. Oof. I would not touch this one. This is just it. If you look at it, it's just a really choppy natured stock. Like the chop is crazy. So I would avoid this one. And it's not close to 52-week high or all-time highs, anything like that. And it moves 1.86% per day. Yeah, I would kind of avoid this one. I mean, this looks okay. Like this move up, sideways consolidation, like this looks good. But this is just an extremely choppy stock. You're running into a lot of supply right here, and it's just a very, very, very choppy stock. So I would avoid this. Like this looks bad. You don't want to trade that. So I'd avoid that. All right, guys. Any other questions? Any other ones you want me to take a look at? Because I think that's all I've
How
got.
would you? My bad. You know, I always got questions, BR. How would you trail SMR? So I'm in SMR still. I'm still holding it, and I'm still holding HIMS. So how would you trail those? Would you just use the daily nine to like ride them if it breaks that, then exit?
Yeah, so you've got I always take a look at the ADR. So like if the ADR is trading at 6.5 right now, so I would be looking for like I'd be looking for holding the 9 EMA. If it's ever over five, basically, five, five-ish, maybe 4.5, I'm always looking to trail it off the nine, daily nine. Um, if I'm taking it off the daily chart. Um, So this one I'd be trading it off the daily nine, or you if it depends. If you really believe in this company, then you can, but I don't know if I would necessarily really have strong conviction in this company. I mean, it does have really good revenue growth. Not showing in this earnings report, but like if you go look at this company, like overall, and you take a look at, you can't even see the annual. But yeah, so you can see the revenue decreasing each quarter, right? For whatever reason, I can't see the annual. Um, but so this, okay, two different things. If you really believe in the company, which if it's not producing earnings, I would not be like, oh, I really believe in this company. If it's that like, because that's saying the company still is losing money. So that's when I'll use a longer term moving average if I think this can actually be an outsized move. Both HIMS and SMR are not profitable companies. Let me make sure I'm speaking on that correctly because I believe HIMS is not a profitable company. Okay, HIMS actually. Let me check that. That might have been just one quarter. Okay, so hymns would be one where I would give more room. Why? Because looking at the financials, we've had a negative EPS turn to a positive, which is a huge catalyst for massive moves. If you go study the leaders of the past, like APP, for example, from last year, when they turned from positive to negative, right in here, when they turned from negative to positive right here, this is when they turned positive, the EPS. Okay. And look at the massive move that it had from this. Okay. So hymns, you can see the follow through, the crazy follow through that's continued to happen in this stock since the EPS turned around. Katos is another example. This one went positive in 2020, either 2023 or 2024. But yeah, you can see here's 2024 positive EPS turnaround. Let me tell you, it's going to bother me if I don't know which when it turned. Okay, I guess it was positive before. I must have been thinking of a different stock. Okay, scratch that idea. Never mind. But anyways, so HIM's turned from negative to positive, which is a huge sign. So I'd be more inclined to hold this one longer. Um, and I'd be looking for all-time highs on this one. So if you've trimmed some, you move your stop to break even, and then you trail it based on the moving averages, and then you can kind of choose which one you want to use. You can use a weekly 21, which has been a pretty solid support throughout. But if you don't want to be that generous, you can use the daily 21, um, or you can use the 50. Probably use the 50. That's a good happy medium. And then for SMR, I would be trailing it based off the 9 because it is still a laggard. Like if you go look at OKLO, that one had an insane move. NNE, insane move. LEU, insane move. These are all trading at or just near all-time highs. Like NNE is $2 off of all-time highs, where SMR is kind of lagging from the rest of them, where this is trading about 10% off all-time highs. So I'd just be trailing this one more closely, but it still looks great. You could probably trail this one off the 21, and it all comes down to your perspective on what you want to do with the stock. It's a very long-winded answer, but it all plays into what kind of stock it is, how good is the company actually versus just the technicals, and then how aggressively do you want to trail it, and how long do you really want to hold it?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Because I think I'm all caught up in the chat. All right, so just leaving you with this. My top pick for this week is WGS. I think this is the best looking setup out there right now. I'm trying to find an entry in sound. Rocket Lab, I'm also looking to buy.
And
FRHC.
BR.
Huh.
So Rocket Labs, I'm ready to send you a cool picture. So I entered Rocket Labs last week, and
Uh-huh.
I went out to dinner for my wife's birthday, and I met the Rocket Labs team and like got a picture with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a picture. I like took a picture with them at their table.
Oh, that's really cool. How did you know that was them?
I asked them. They all had Rocket Lab shirts on. Like they were like doing like it
Oh,
was a lot of them. They had like 3 tables.
oh, wow, that's
So
cool.
yeah.
Huh, very cool. Yeah, send me that. All right, guys. Any other questions? I think that's all we got to cover. But all right, guys. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll talk to you soon. Jim, guys, send me that picture.
I'm ready to send it to you now.
All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
All
Bye.
right, my man.